Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on Paramount Plus that needs icy hot after trying to melt ice in a hot way. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge All-Stars episode 3, and before we get into this week's episode, let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Kendall going up against Trishelle in the not-so-fast elimination. Kendall wins, stays in this game, and back at the challenge house, that's where everyone's congratulating her for her win, but not everybody is excited about her winning, but maybe that'll all play out later on in the season. We're gonna move into Jemmye talking to Nehemiah about the politics of the game and how important it is to have a political game, because Nehemiah has a very old school way of coming into this game. He's thinking that I'm athletic, will help keep me in the game and get me far within the game, but Jemmye is like, look, the more times I've played, the more times it turns into a numbers game, and this game is no different. It's gonna turn into a numbers game. You need to get with the politics of this game, and this is where Jemmye is really finding some traction, gaining some numbers, because not only is she talking to Nehemiah, and Nehemiah is on her side like 100%, Beth the next morning is talking to Cyrus and they're talking about like nicknames, but then she brings up Jemmye and she's like, I love Jemmye. Jemmye is like my daughter. We're like Madonna and Britney Spears. They are two peas in a pod, which I found interesting because in the aftermath, Jemmye talked about some of her OG challenge friends like Veronica do not like Beth. So Jemmye instinctively did not like Beth, but coming into this season, she gave her a chance and Jemmye loves Beth and Beth loves Jemmye. And Beth even says at one point, Jemmye always has mama's back, which is going to be interesting because if all my years of watching the challenge has taught me anything, is that there is foreshadowing and possibly something is going to happen because there's only one person that Jemmye is loyal to, and that's herself. And also in this morning scene, we see Tech skinny dipping, and then before heading off to the daily challenge, Ruthie and Arissa are having a conversation with each other, and Ruthie is feeling like she is an outcast or an outsider. There's cliques forming and she doesn't feel a part of it. Also, there are some old feelings bubbling up, coming to the surface as she remembers her last season of the challenge on the Duel 2, where there was like people wanting to gun after her because of how good of a competitor she was and take her out sooner rather than later. And one of those competitors was Anissa. And so Ruthie is feeling like she does not know who to trust in this game. She feels like she can trust Tech, she feels like she can trust Arissa, but other than that, she is feeling like she really has to keep an eye on everybody. But we're gonna have to wait to see how all that plays out because everyone gears up, heads out of the house, goes to meet TJ for this week's daily challenge called Melt Away, where everyone's gonna be playing in 5 teams of 4 players, and each team is going to have to pick one man and one woman as their team captain. It is a men's elimination, so whatever men is a captain for your team is putting their challenge lives on the line here. And what they're gonna have to do is something similar to Battle of the Sexes 2 daily challenge, where there was a block of ice and you have to melt it to get something that was within the ice. This time around, there are 2 shields in 2 ice blocks. And what you're gonna have to do is free those puzzle pieces and then take all your puzzle pieces that have challenge seasons on them and put them in order of when they happen on the challenge from earliest to the most recent. The team that has the best time at the end of this wins this daily challenge, and the team captain gets to be safe, and the women captain gets the lifesaver. As the last place team, the man goes straight into this week's elimination. So there's a lot on the line here. Everyone's gearing up. We go into our teams here, and we have the copper team. We have Nehemiah and Katie, Big Easy and Hizella, where Nehemiah and Katie are the captains. On the gold team, we have Alton, Jemmye, Beth, and Mark, where Beth and Mark are the captains. On the silver team, we got Darrell, Kendall, Cyrus, and Kellyanne, where Darrell and Kendall are the captains. For the black team, we got Derek, Anissa, Latyrian, and John A, where John A and Derek are the captains. And finally, for the gray team, we have Yes, Tech, Arissa, and Ruthie, where Tech and Arissa are the captains. Now, heading into this daily challenge, there are a lot of different strategies happening for all different types of teams. You got everyone using the human saw, we got the triple-decker sandwich, we have spitting, peeing. Arissa is praying to the sun and her ancestors to help melt this block of ice. We have twerking going on the ice. There's a lot of different strategies, but none of them are melting this ice rather quicker than the others because this is taking forever. Everyone is getting dejected, everyone's frustrated. That's when TJ calls time, and he's gonna give every team one hammer. And the only caveat is that you cannot break your shield. If you break a shield, that is going to be a 5-minute penalty for every shield broken, so be careful. But once everyone has this hammer, they're going ham on this ice with these hammers. I don't know what Alton's occupation is, but it could be professional icebreaker because he is destroying this ice, and he is on the gold team, and he unlocks the gold team's puzzle pieces first. And Jemmy knows these seasons like the back of her hand, so she's just ready to put these puzzle pieces in order. Then the copper team and the silver team get their puzzle pieces out next. The gray team and the black team are lagging behind. Jemmy puts these puzzle pieces in order rather quickly. The gold team finishes first. Then Darrell steps up for his team as he's been studying these seasons in chronological order. So he gets these puzzle pieces in there. So the silver team comes in second. Then it is the gray team. So now it's the copper team versus the black team in fighting for not last. And with Derek and Anissa both on the black team, they are able to stay out of last place, meaning the copper team comes in last place. Nehemiah, as the captain, is going straight into this week's elimination. And upon hearing that news, that's when Tech is trash talking. And Nehemiah is frustrated overall about the situation of having to go into the elimination this early in the season, but now he has Tech, who he feels is crossing the line on how much trash talking he's going. He's talking about like, look, there is a point where you can trash talk, but he feels that Tech crossed the line at some point, so now he wants Tech to go into the elimination with him. But we have to get the final results first. So we move back to TJ talking about how the gold team did finish first, but they had 2 broken shields, meaning they will incur a 10-minute penalty. And that means that the silver team edges out the gold team, making Darrell, who was captain, safe from going into this week's elimination, and Kendall gets the lifesaver, being the other captain of the team. Now, going back to the challenge house, Nehemiah and Mark are talking, and just as I was saying, Nehemiah's like, I want Tech. Make Tech the house vote, and let's get it going. I want him. And Mark is like, I got your back. But before he can even say anything at the nomination deliberation, that's when Tech's like, look, I'm going to save everybody the heartache and the trouble. I'm going to volunteer myself, which Jemmy hates. Both Jemmy and Ruthie do not like this at all. Jemmy is looking at Tech as a number for her side, and she wanted to see some blood, she wanted to see some chaos, she wanted to see some drama, and Ruthie doesn't want to lose Tech because she feels like she can only trust Tech at this moment. But Tech is going to be the house vote, meaning at this moment, it is Nehemiah versus Tech in the elimination, but everyone goes out on the town, goes to like a little local bar, and they're having a good time. It looks like they have the whole place to themselves, and that's when Ruthie is talking to Kendall about what if you use your lifesaver. And then Jemmy is also working on Nehemiah, saying, hey, you should go talk to Kendall about using the lifesaver on Tech and maybe put in Big Easy. I think you could beat him rather easily, and I don't want to be partnered up with him for like a daily challenge and having to run anything with him because he's not going to be good at it. Kendall is talking to everybody and anybody who will listen about using this lifesaver and asking them if she should use it or not. This is getting not only Big Easy nervous, but it's getting all the guys nervous. Look, this is like the first time anybody is really thinking about using the lifesaver. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Will Kendall, if she uses it, be able to pick who goes into the elimination? Or will there be another vote? What's going to happen? So not only Big Easy nervous about his name being floated around as a possible replacement for Tech going into this week's elimination, but everybody is worried about it. Then we move back to the house where Nehemiah and Jemmy are having a good time cuddling up underneath the covers. And then we also have Ruthie and Anissa having a falling out. Anissa is talking about how Ruthie is paranoid. She hears the conversation, comes out to the backyard, hearing what Anissa is saying, and tells Anissa to go F herself. Ruthie is over it, and she just feels like she can't trust Anissa whatsoever. Jonna is trying to calm Ruthie down, but Ruthie is just like over it. She is done. And you can just tell from the editing that something is going to happen, whether it's going to be between Anissa and Ruthie, maybe in an elimination or something, but something is going to come to a head with Ruthie's game at some point. Everybody goes to sleep and then wakes up the next morning, and both Tech and Nehemiah are getting ready mentally to going into the elimination, and Nehemiah is talking to Jemmy, going like, look, let's just keep in with the plan of going up against Tech, and let's just go for it, and hopefully I can win, and your big spoon can stay in the game. Then we move into this week's elimination, where everyone is piling in, and they see this like apparatus of like tiles on this like 3-walled structure with 2 circles in the ground. I've never seen anything personally like this before, so it's a big question mark in everybody's mind what they're gonna have to do. That's when TJ tells both Nehemiah and Tech to join him on the elimination floor, and then he turns the floor over to Kendall, asking whether she wants to use the lifesaver or not. And that's when Kendall is asking TJ, so what if I do use it? What's going to happen? And of course, TJ is not going to say anything. He's not going to give any information away. He wants you to use it. He wants chaos, and he wants you to use the power. So he's like, there's only one way to find out, and that's using it. And that's when Kendall is scared of the unknown, and she decides she's not going to use it on Tech. And so it's going to be Nehemiah and Tech going into this week's elimination against each other. That's called going out of tile, where each member is going to have to run into this structure and break away all their colored tiles. And the first person to knock away all their tiles and then get back into their circle will win, stay in this game, and the other person is going to win a one-way ticket back home. So with that being said, everyone's geared up. TJ's ready to blow that horn, and then he stops himself, puts on a rubber glove, takes out a baggie of Carolina Reapers peppers, where they're super, super hot, and he announces that each man is gonna have to eat 2 of these peppers fully, show the referee their mouth, and then they can get on to playing this elimination. I'm telling you, I don't do spicy. I love spice, but give me a medium salsa and I perspire quickly. So these 2 men putting these peppers in their mouth, especially Tech, who takes both of them at one time and just stuffs them into his mouth, my goodness, you can tell that they are in writhing pain. And I guess in the writer's room, they're just like, look, this elimination doesn't have enough spice to it. Literally, let's make them eat peppers, make their insides hurt, and then they can go on to doing this physical elimination of knocking out tiles. So they do it, they both eat their peppers, TJ blows the horn. Now the peppers impede Tech, because right when TJ blows the horn, he is throwing up. So Nehemiah actually gets a little bit of a head start, because Tech is just not into it right now with him throwing up and then having to like collect himself and then run in to do this elimination. But this elimination is so close. They are just punching out their tiles as much as they can, as fast as they can. It gets down to a foot race where Nehemiah just edges out Tech, meaning Nehemiah gets to stay in this game as he wins this elimination as Tech is being eliminated. And I have to say, I am for one sad to see Tech leave. I thought he did fantastic in these first 3 episodes. He did great in the trivia challenge. He volunteered himself. He was never scared of going into the elimination. He put in to be team captain twice? No. Yeah, he put in to be team captain twice in 3 episodes. That's insane. Tech is great. He was really funny in the confessionals, and I really do hope that if there is a season 2, he will be called back to come on to there, because he was just a great competitor. He was a great personality, and he played the best he could, and I just loved seeing him on this season of the challenge, and I hope to see him back on another All-Star season. But he is sadly eliminated from this episode, from this season, and Nehemiah gets to stay and compete for $500,000. But that is it for this episode. What did you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. What did you think about all the drama? What did you think about this week's daily challenge? What did you think about Tech volunteering himself? And also, what did you think about Kendall not using the lifesaver to save Tech? Do you think it was the right decision, or do you think that it was the wrong decision? Let me know anything and everything you thought about this episode down in the comment section below. But thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really, really soon with more Challenge All-Star content, more Challenge Double Agent content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.